I've been warning people in my own little way for 20 years that cops in America are a bunch of corrupt, dangerous shitbags that murder people, plant evidence, falsify arrest warrants, beat the shit out of people, lock up innocent people knowingly, and that these people are sociopaths who want to be a cop so they can do bad things to people. And I've been shouted down and told to go live in China or some shit or whatever by people. People just can't get over this cop worship bullshit. It's like a fart in the brain. It's like, they've been brainwashed. I've had cops harass me, stop me without any reason, falsify a warrant against me, trumped up charges and bullshit to silence me. So I paid a price for it. I would ask you doing anything? You paying a price for anything? Or do you just vote for some sociopath shitbag politician and think that's good enough? Did my patriotic duty. So, but here's another example of one of these sociopath cops loving just to beat the shit out of people.
On the ground. Dude, will you take me? On the ground. Go! On the ground.
You can't take me.
When Corporal James Palermo walked through the doors of the San Marcos Police Department in July 2013, he didn't know it then, but his own department had dug up months of his dash camera recordings.
James, as a part of this, what we've been doing is we've been pulling all your pending cases at the Hays County District Attorney's Office.
That's San Marcos Police Commander Penny Dunn. She led the investigation into Palermo after the Alexis Alpha arrest. The arrest where Palermo threw the woman down on the ground on her face. Dunn reviewed 176 of Palermo's pending criminal cases.
As we've been going through those cases, you know what we have found? You like to file resisting arrest. And you file it really inordinately more than any other officer in this police department. And we find that a lot of these people get hurt. And the ones that do are the ones that push your buttons, that set off a trigger.
This interrogation video shows Palermo mostly sat and listened as she pointed out what she called a pattern of hitting people with charges they never committed.
How do you explain that?
As far as the resisting arrest charges, as we talked about, we talked here, during the arrest process, they attempt to get away from me, flee, move away from me. That's where I felt it.
That's James Palermo's penal code. That's not the state of Texas penal code.
When I read it, I believe that force, whether it's force against me or force trying to get away from me, do some action to get away from me, that's what I believe is the case. I wrote that, that's the way I would write it in my narratives. It would get approved by the supervisors that way. Even when it got to the DA's office, I didn't hear any feedback from them saying, DA guys, we talked. I didn't hear any feedback, okay, well, this is kind of this or that, or that doesn't really fit or whatever. I know there was no feedback saying, I read the...
So this isn't your fault? This is someone else's fault?
That my perception was the force, when it just says force, I believe
it doesn't just say force, it says force against a peace officer.
Never.
You misread obstruction, you misread interfering, and you misread resisting arrest. You are a 13-year veteran police officer of the rank of corporal, which is many times an acting supervisor in this police department. And you don't understand the basic elements of 3 statutes in our penal code. James, what I said was you're not going to deflect anything away from you. You are responsible. And even though you do not want to be accountable for your actions, and you have not wanted to be accountable in the past for your actions, this is a situation that you're going to be held accountable for.
James Palermo was ultimately charged with aggravated assault by a public servant in the Alexis Alpha case, but he was never charged with a crime in any of those other dash camera video stops. Now, Palermo made a deal with the Hays County DA's office. He would exchange his police license for time on probation, but he would never spend a day behind bars. We wrote Palermo a letter asking him for an interview, but he never wrote us back.
So in the corrupt Nazi police state called the United States of America, the cops commit crimes against people, violent crimes, and they don't get in trouble. When they get caught, if they get caught, they get a paid vacation, they get to quit, they get to retire with benefits, and then they come back a lot of times, just get rehired somewhere else. Because the United States of America is a piece of shit, and most Americans are fucking cowards. For all your flag waving bullshit and pounding your chest, macho man bullshit, 95% of you Americans out there are not real Americans. You're just fucking cowards who won't make a fucking peep about the police state and the past 100 years of crimes that the cops have committed against the people. You won't write lawmakers. You won't write letters to editors. You won't write articles. You won't make videos. You won't do jack shit because you're cowards. You're just like the Germans who knew those trains were going to those death camps, and you didn't do anything. You didn't say anything. You let those Nazis murder millions of people, and you didn't say a word. You're the same kind of people.